Here's what people get wrong about MTV. MTV didn't lose because they didn't play enough music videos. MTV lost because they stopped winning at reality TV. And frankly, Bravo stole the throne. Here's why. MTV recently canceled Ridiculousness after 14 years. It was easy to produce, cheap to replicate, and it was comfort food for that MTV audience. And there's a lot of complaints about how they just showed ridiculousness over and over and over. And while they did go overboard, that really wasn't the issue. Fox News, ESPN, CNN, they all play the same stuff over and over as well. Different personalities, but they're all talking about the same issues, same topics, day in and day out. But that said, there was still some variety in there. But MTV put all of its eggs into that one basket of ridiculousness. And while MTV sat on its hands on that cash cow, Bravo was building an empire. By 2022, Bravo had nearly doubled MTV's average viewership, and they did it with franchises of shows. Vanderpump Rules, Real Housewives, Below Deck, the list goes on. They even have BravoCon, an entire convention dedicated to the fans that watch their shows. A lot of those fans, frankly, that 20 years ago were watching shows like The Real World and Road Rules. Why couldn't MTV have continued to tweak the models that worked with Real World, Road Rules, Jersey Shore, and others to keep the audiences hooked? The challenge wasn't that ridiculousness existed, but it was so narrow, it was so focused on young males, and we zoom out to Bravo, a lot of that content was women. The problem wasn't that MTV had a cash cow, but they just relied so heavily on it. And this is a network that used to have multiple franchises of reality content. They had it, they lost it, and other networks showed that even during the age of cord cutting and the transition to streaming, there was still an audience to be had for reality TV on cable. Bravo understood this, E understood this. The economics may not be perfect there, but it's in a much better position than MTV is right now. Despite the haters who may criticize MTV for why they didn't play more music videos, that wasn't the problem. MTV proved that it could capture an audience and build a real business that wasn't dependent on music videos. But how did they lose that? They stopped innovating and they became more reactive than proactive. And now, other networks are eating their lunch with the playbook that MTV created. Wild how that happens, right?